We're going to name this episode Bread and Butter, because you're circling back to something you said initially, this threshold where you as an Agile partner have to assist these organizations to identify, to shift their thinking on how do you extrapolate now very intentionally when you build something between what are you building, that we use the phrase secret sauce. What is the secret sauce? What is the bread and butter? What is the core value that you want to narrow and focus your internal engineering staff on, versus what are the things that you have traditionally up to this date been maintaining and managing that is a capability or service that is now so common that you've seen so many companies building these things over and over.
So two things. I think this is where you're going, Josh. It gets down into this concept of preserving options as you start to move stuff forward. All right. There is not a singular solution. Everything is not a nail. Everything doesn't need a hammer. And by the way, even if you were to do that, there's probably 20 hammers on the rack that you could choose from to pound the nail in. So it's not singular. It's not a lock-in now approach. If you just made a small investment, grand scheme of things, it's probably going to take you a while. What are the 1, 2, or 3 small investments that you need to proof of concept, evaluate, get feedback on to move that forward? Out of those, the best in breed will probably move forward. And then what's your next evaluation criteria? The second side of that is once you have that, then it's back to that solution option. There's more than one way to build things. It doesn't always have to be super UX heavy, pixel perfect, whiz bang, the greatest thing ever. But it doesn't always have to be that 5-line, that UX thing. It could be maybe 5 lines of code that gets the data that adds value to the customer. You could figure out if they like it, then make it better, make it pretty, enhance it. So there's options, right? It's all design thinking is all about those, learning how to listen, correlate, and get options into play.
What advice would you give to a SaaS leader who is maybe listening to this or has seen some other things or just is aware in general that there's a problem, but effectively finding themselves either on their way to the chasm or in the chasm? What advice would you give somebody that's coming to that realization?
Break the cycle of it can wait. But in all honesty, that is the one thing that we see is analysis paralysis, or afraid to take a step in any direction because it's so big and so vast. And whenever we see that pattern, we have clients. I mean, not every client always does everything that we want, right? Imagine that. We have clients that still, they get all this, like, no, we're going to stay the course. Okay. That failure to choose to take a step. When we re-engage or revisit that client 6 months, 9 months, a year later, 2 years later, guess where they are? Same problem, no progress, no improvement to the system that builds, validates, deploys, and integrates the system, no improvements in building quality, no improvements in there, and they're still angsting about this looming cliff, or they're in the throes of it. Honestly, take a step, pick a direction, and just start, even if it's small. Don't stay put. Don't dig your feet in. Start.
If you could choose one type of partner, you can make them up, to join you on this journey to address an area that's underserved, that's maybe outside of Agile partnership, an additional area to join you along the way, what would that be?
Honestly, somebody who has seen the solution options underneath there, that understands, like, is it data sharing? Is it information sharing? Right? Because from my world, the technology stacks are vast. The architectural design patterns are vast.
This has been a really fun conversation. Tell people where they can learn more about Clearly Agile and get in touch if they need any help, and really just plug anything else that you think you'd like the world to know.
So one, LinkedIn, Coach Rob FL on LinkedIn. That's me. I tend to be social. I'm not a stranger. Just connect. I'm happy to talk all things Agile anytime. ClearlyAgile.com. If there's something that we can do from a consultant standpoint, a getting the right talent standpoint, or a team in a box standpoint, ClearlyAgile.com, come find us there. All right. And then Clearly Agile owns a training arm, which is the Brain Trust Group. That is a place to go for all of your Agile certifications, from Scrum Alliance certifications all the way up to the scaling certifications and a lot of things in between. We have a fantastic talent network of just top-notch trainers. More than just a class. We try to make it fun, interactive, and engaging. All of that is coming together under, I don't know if I could share this yet, a thing called the Agile Network.
Here we go.
Yeah, May 10th, that is going to be launching. But I think there's so much bad information that's out there today that it was this idea that was born around, let's get the best thought leaders in the space together under one platform, regardless of who they work for.
Under one roof.
under one roof. Let's get the top Agilist thought leaders in the world. They are all over. We have them from Europe and the United States under one roof, under one platform, as a place to build community knowledge and how to get this conversation out to more people about there are better ways of doing it, and you may not be seeing it even though you're doing Agile. So that is May 10th. That's coming out, theagilenetwork.com. That's going to be awesome.
Very, very cool. Thank you for listening. We're going to be continuing to look for different perspectives on the hidden chasm and explore this. So join us on that journey. This has been fun. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.